Why you don't? Oh, I really don't trust tap water. This is by Johnny here. You know we love Johnny Harris over here, bro.
I paid $200
Why we don't
for
trust
this
tap water? Because look,
why did I spend $200 on this? Anyway, we have a lot of bottles of water around us right now, more than I've ever seen in one room in my entire life. That's because I'm currently on a quest to figure out what the deal is with all of this, all these different brands and their promises and their branding and their messages and their advertisements.
Natural spring water.
It's Earth's finest water.
I'm going to be doing a bunch of blind taste tests to see if I can tell the difference between cheap versus expensive water. And then I want to do a deep dive on the water itself. What's actually inside this? Where does it come from? How is it treated? Are any of these health claims legitimate? And who are the companies who are selling it to us, making $350 billion annually?
Billy on water? Oh my God. 348 billies on water, bro. They out here fucking rinsing us. Literally rinsing us off the fucking most natural resource on Earth. Why?
Full bottled water industry. Can we trust them? Oh, and what's Jennifer Aniston doing rolling out of bed like this, deer in the headlights, clutching a bottle of smart water? And most importantly, is the stuff inside of this bottle better than the stuff I get for basically free out of my tap? Is it healthier? Is it less toxic? Is it cleaner or purer in any way? Because it is a lot more expensive. I could refill this bottle of Fiji water for the next 9 years with tap water, and it would cost the same as this one bottle. Bottled water is insanely more expensive than tap. And I want to figure out what we're paying for. Speaking of tap, I'll be putting the microscope on that too, tasting it and looking inside to see what's going on with tap water in America.
There's a pretty significant gap between what is legal and what is safe.
Water is the most important substance on Earth, which is why me and a bunch of creators are trying to raise money to help people who don't have access to clean drinking water get access. It's part of this movement, Team Water. You'll see a bunch of other creators doing this month. It's with a reputable and vetted organization, so please consider donating. And with that, let's get started with our first taste test. First up, this, which I don't know what it is. I'm about to taste it. Nice on the nose. Tastes like water. Okay, here goes B. Okay. I like that one the most for some reason. I just like that one the most, but they all just taste like water. All right, my winner for this one is C. What was it? No way. Oh God. Oh, this was truly blind by
the minerals.
This is a blind taste test, totally unprimed. We did all this work behind the scenes to make sure that I don't know which one it is. And I immediately was like, ooh, that one feels nice. Wow, that is amazing. Okay, we'll do another one in just a sec.
Putting water into a bottle is a profoundly symbolic act. You're taking this thing that is a universal human need, we could argue is a universal human right. Everyone should have access to clean, fresh water. And you're commercializing it.
I 100% believe that, bro. Every fucking third world country has water problems, and that's what really helps the fucking superpower stay super, because when you don't got water, you really genuinely cannot really build anything, really. Like it's just pure science.
At the core of this story is the strange reality here in the modern economy where we interact with corporations all the time and we want to trust them, but we don't totally know if we can because sometimes they're hiding things. And in this case, they are. I'm talking about this right now because this is what happens every day when we're on the internet. Like right now, your information is being bought and sold on an open market. That is a key economy in the modern age. Your name, your birthday, your address, what you do on the internet, what you like, where you live, all of it is valuable so that people can market things to you or sell that data somewhere else. I'm telling you about this because Incognito.
Yeah.
Thank you, Incognito, for sponsoring today's video. We got more water to try. We got more corporations to talk about. Let's get back to it. If you go back to the 70s and you look how much water we drink out of bottles, and then you compare it to how much we drink today, you will see that bottled water has had a wild ride over the last few decades. Like this used to not be a thing, and now it is. That's partly because in the 80s and 90s, we drank so much soda and milk, something we've made a video about here before, and we realized that that's maybe not the best thing to drink all day, every day. CDC came out with all this stuff, we switched more to water. That's actually a great trend. It was also in part because of a death. The death of this. Public water
fountain. I'm not gonna lie, bro. The public water fountain or public fountain in general is probably not the most sanitary thing in the world. So after COVID, probably, I understand that.
Fountain. The public water fountain was our way of saying, look, we did it. We found a way to make the most important substance on Earth clean and free, abundant to everyone. Let's put it in the middle of our cities to celebrate this huge step of civilization. They became a central symbol to
if it was falling from the top going down and they're not recycling that, they're putting that into the plants, then yes, that might be, but that top water has to be coming from something filtered. You could put, a lot of filtration.
It's movement, access to these water fountains. They were a point of celebration. But then we went through a phase here in individualistic America where we cut back on public infrastructure, and water fountains fell prey to this. Pair that with a few contamination outbreaks at public water fountains, and by the 1990s, water fountains had...
That was fake news, I feel like, bro. They were trying to pass other law. That was fake news.
Turned from celebrated public offering to ugly but functional requirement for schools and offices, with my mom, like many parents, warning me that this part of the water fountain was actually a death trap. And then there was the tap, the stuff we have in our home. There were a few major, highly publicized cases of contamination in people's tap water in America. And this added to an increase of skepticism, a lack of faith in our public water infrastructure. People were losing faith in the tap. But wait, let's just clear something up right here and now. Is our water from the tap safe to drink here in America? It's kind of an important question. The answer is, by and large, yes. For most of us, it is totally safe. There's some geographical variation to this, and there's some nuance in what safe means, and I will get to that. But every expert I talked to said,
American tap water is among the most tested and safest products you're going to consume in a given day.
I'm a really big proponent of tap
I
water.
definitely believe that compared to all other fucking third world countries that I've been to. Them shits is like literally having dark brown water as tap water. At least American water is like clear.
We should really value and treat as a really important thing.
Obviously, as a water sommelier, I really love the opportunity to taste waters from all over the world, but mostly I try to advocate for having fresh, clean tap water available to everybody and drink that mostly myself.
yes, it's safe, but what matters is what people think. And into the 1990s, people really started to lose faith in the tap, and public water fountains really started to disappear. Here's what's so annoying is that I'm at the airport and I've got this, it's empty, and I can't find a water fountain anywhere. There's water bottles everywhere I look, but no water fountain. So it's like, even if I want to do this, there's just not infrastructure for it. What happened in the old days when water fountains were like at the center of everything? It's annoying. So here come the corporations. It's the 1990s, and we're drinking fewer sugary drinks. That's good. And the companies who make those sugary drinks see an opportunity. They already have big facilities where they bottle stuff and ship it all around the country, and they're now getting in trouble and under a lot of scrutiny for how much sugar they're pumping into the economy. Pepsi launches their brand Aquafina in 1994, and Coke launches Dasani a few years later. For all of life's thirst-worthy moments. Great tagline, guys. Nestle, who now is owned by another company but kind of makes everything, also got into the bottled water game. Now, bottled water had existed before this. They didn't like invent this stuff, but it was kind of niche. It was in like health food stores. It was very esoteric. Now it was going mainstream, and all these brands were using a clever little trick.
A lot of times bottled water is bottled tap water.
Taking a bunch of tap water, running it through some extra filtration, bottling it.
If I paid $3 for fucking tap water, I'm about to Swiss cheese that whole restaurant. I'm about to fucking lose my mind. I'm not having it.
And selling it for 2,500 times the cost. Seriously, 2,000.
I'm Swiss cheesing the whole neighborhood. It's over with. The blicky is up. The restaurant getting blicky down. Oh my God, no way.
And the cap and all of it, all the production costs, it's still around 2,000 times more. And we bought it. Like, bottled water started to surge. And today there's $352 billion worth of bottled.
Bro, this is why inflation is so high, because these motherfuckers realize we can be finessed. The local people can be finessed, and we've been getting rinsed ever since. We're getting titty sucked.
Water that is sold in a 500 billion plastic bottles. More plastic bottles than you and I can ever imagine. A few years ago, Reuters did a great 3D visualization of this. The moment you land on this page, bottles start falling, starting to count up the number of plastic bottles that have been used since you opened the page. Kind of anxiety inducing. Then it shows you how many bottles are consumed.
Pissing me off right now, bro.
Year. I mean, it's pretty nuts. It's a lot of plastic. For now, I'm going to try to stay focused on the central question to this video, which is, why do we pay a price that's 2,000 times greater for this than the stuff that comes out of the tap? So first, let's do another taste test.
Pisses me off, bro. That shit genuinely.
Okay, round two. What do we got here? I guess we've got some saltine crackers, which apparently there are like water sommelier, like people who taste water. It's a whole thing that I learned about during the reporting for the story. And these crackers are how they cleanse their palate between water tastings. Humans are interesting creatures. My palate is cleansed. I'm ready for my next round. Perfect. Here we go. First up, we've got this, and I don't know what it is, but I'm going to taste it. Tastes like water. Okay. Maybe a little more minerally. I don't know. Let's just. I like to see the most. What is it? Dasani. Nice job, Dasani. Tap water that has been repackaged and sold to me for 2,000 times the price. Good on you. I mean, it all tastes the same. If I'm just being honest, it all tastes the same. There's no noticeable difference for me. But hey, let's keep going.
Finessing.
Okay, so am I back?
But I mean, I guess they are bottling it and what I get it. You're bottling it, but making it 2,000 times the price. You could make it 50 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents, 25 cents, bruh.
To tell you that the big greedy corporations tricked us all into buying their bottled water? No. Actually, the easiest, quickest answer to this whole thing is a lot of us buy bottled water because it's convenient. Like, we want to drink more of this than
I
sugar
believe
drinks.
that,
really
but like making it fucking $3.
Easy to put it in our car or whatever. It's easy to throw away. And so having a single-use disposable plastic bottle is a habit that a lot of us convenience-minded people have developed.
Not some of us. I don't know where my gallon is, but hold on, chat.
More and more every year. That's at least what like the market research says. But that doesn't mean there aren't shenanigans going on here. And there's billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars to be made in an industry. The corporations start to get a little bit misleading. That's what I want to shine a light on next. Go into the bottle and really tell you what's going on here. To go into the stories that these bottled water companies tell us, and if any of them are true. First up, let's look at this.
Stay hydrated, motherfucker.
So let me just super clarify that despite all of these images and beautiful stories, most bottled water that is consumed in America, over 60%, is bottled tap water. It's tap water. It's gone through some extra filtration and purification. It is then put into a bottle and sold.
We've been getting finessed. We've been getting rinsed.
Dasani, Aquafina. The secret got out in 2004 when these guys were trying to get into the UK. They launched their big campaign of Dasani, and then people found out that it was just filtered London city water repackaged, and they were very angry. And then someone tested the water, and it came out that there was illegal amounts of cancer-causing contaminants in Dasani's water, and the ruse was up. Not only was it tap water, but it also wasn't clean. Dasani had to cancel the warranty, recall like hundreds of thousands of bottles, and it was bad.
Most people assume, especially because of the marketing around bottled water, that it would be
still
significantly cleaner than tap water. And then in most cases, that's just not the case.
Again, if you are a consumer of bottled water because it's convenient for you, then maybe this is not that surprising or worrisome. But don't be deceived that this stuff and this stuff is coming from anywhere but the tap. Okay, but now you're asking, what about spring water?
Natural spring water. It may be the best tasting water on earth.
Spring water. This sounds delicious, right? It comes from a
That's what I've been drinking, you know, like specifically spring water.
It's up in Maine, and it was a wonderful spring for a few years until this company sucked it dry like decades ago. And now they get their water not from Poland Spring, which has been sucked dry by them, but from a bunch of other groundwater that they classify as a spring. People who are suing them say this isn't a spring. They say that it's a, quote, man-made gravel pit collecting groundwater that then has to be super purified and filtered to make it drinkable. Anyway, there's been a bunch of lawsuits. You can read about it in our citations, which gets us perfectly to this
Fiji. That's low key. Like Fiji or Smart Water, my favorite. Low key though. Staying hydrated, Fiji or Smart Water, low key though.
Is immaculate. And it is a true story in some ways. Fiji Water says that it is from the island of Fiji, that it is natural artisan water. It has natural electrolytes, and it's the smarter choice. As tropical rain slowly filters through volcanic rocks, it gathers electrolytes and minerals that gives Fiji water its signature soft, smooth mouthfeel. How smart is that? They call themselves Earth's finest water, untouched by man until you open the bottle. Okay, so what's the deal here? This water does come from an aquifer on an island in the country of Fiji, which is a South Pacific island that is very far away from any other country. Water is their largest export, and the company that does this has caused all kinds of drama with the government, and it's a big thing that, like, I almost went down that rabbit hole because I can make a whole video about Fiji water and the drama with the Fijian government. This precious aquifer water goes into the bottle right here on the island of Fiji, and then gets put on a ship and shipped thousands and thousands of kilometers. Like, it's 8,000 kilometers to the port of LA. And the whole idea is that this water is different. It is special. It comes from this volcanic aquifer, and therefore it is extra special. And they really wanted you to think that in the early days when they came out with this ad campaign. The label says Fiji because it's not bottled in Cleveland. Pfft, super snarky. But then watch what happens. The City of Cleveland Water Authority fires back by taking some of this Fiji water and running a bunch of tests on them.
Take me outside, how about that?
Tap water authorities have to run like 100 tests a day or something on their water to make sure it's safe. They did that on Fiji water and found that it had a significant amount of arsenic, which is like a heavy metal that causes cancer if you have too much of it. It comes naturally in a lot of water, but you don't want too much of it. Fiji water had less than the legal limit, but they still had a presence of arsenic, says Cleveland. And then they come out and say, our water in Cleveland, the tap water that you just made us.
They sniped that hoe. Holy shit. Arsenic, you get nothing but straight cancer? Oh my lord. Got him.
Feel bad about? Basically has zero arsenic. Fiji, so much for your artisan water. Total slam dunk by Cleveland. Don't pick on Cleveland. All of this for water that, yes, tells a good story and has beautiful images, but ultimately costs way more, thousands of times more than the tap. And as we've seen, requires a lot of energy and transportation to get onto store shelves. Okay, but does it taste better? Let's find out. All right, here we go, round 3. Okay. Definitely more minerals, maybe? Kind of rusty or like minerally. I don't know. I am not into that for some reason. I guess I'm into B. What is it? No way! I swear.
Bro, I don't know if he's capping or not, bro. Is he, y'all think, hey chat, let me know. Y'all think he's fucking capping or that's like real for real, you know?
This is an actual experiment. And I actually prefer this.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The Fiji is my best tasting, but Fiji tastes clean. Weirdly enough, it's hard to say. You drink water and put your face in front of an AC, it just feels clean. That's what Fiji water tastes like. It just feels like just that, all that arsenic in your mouth, you know? It's like just all that, like, you know, clean air. Like, 'cause you know, when you put your face in front of an AC, you're getting cancer toxin. But tap water, it might have a lot of minerals that might fuck you up if you're in a third world country. But at least in America, it seems to be doing good.
Clear, but it just tastes nicer. It doesn't have any microplastics. Tap water, coming in strong. All right, let's keep going. Okay, now let's talk about health claims, because more and more you see water that isn't just about purity, but it claims to like be better for you. Like it's ionized alkaline water. So much alkaline water these days. Alkaline, pH. This Icelandic spring water says that it is naturally alkaline. Alkaline just means that the pH number is high. It means it's not very acidic. The lower the number, the more acidic. The higher the number, the more alkaline. Core hydration, perfectly balanced pH. Alkaline, pH, perfectly balanced hydration. Ionized sport water, pH of 9+. Proprietary electrolyte formula. It's built for all-day hydration for the athlete in all of us. Wow. Makes you think like there's something real special in this bottle. These waters claim something more than just hydration. I'm gonna go through each of the claims real quick. I'll put all of the studies in the sources. Let's first start with the one claim that actually has some merit behind it, which is minerals. When we drink water from nature, it comes with minerals in it. Minerals like calcium and magnesium. And minerals are good for us. They're good for our bones. They're good for our heart. They help our body function better. So some studies link mineral water with better health in some of these areas. Now the catch is a lot of your tap water is often hard or has minerals in it, and you're getting minerals from a bunch of other stuff that you eat if you have a varied diet. But if you're somebody who wants to include more minerals in your life, having mineral water, whether it's added in like a lot of this stuff has for taste, or it's from a natural spring that has a bunch of minerals, that's great. That's actually scientifically good for you. People also use minerals for taste. Like minerals are the one thing that really affect what your water tastes and feels like in your mouth. So minerals, they're legit. They've always been a part of water, and they should always be a part of water. Okay, what about alkaline? This word alkaline. Essentia, #1 ionized alkaline water. Alkaline just means not acidic. And the theory and kind of inference behind this claim is that your body needs to retain a certain alkalinity. It can't be too acidic. And that by drinking this water, you will have, as some say, perfectly balanced pH. Is this more than water? Does the alkalinity make a big difference? I wish it did. It does not, at least according to science. Or, in other words, the Mayo Clinic. They say, for most people, alkaline water is not better than just plain water.
Damn.
Oh, that's great. Just like so straightforward, Mayo Clinic. Dietitian from the Cleveland Clinic says that...
Just finesse the whole system, bro. They've been fucking milking you for the free... Oh, my God.
Science does not support these
We've
claims.
been getting milked.
It is marketing hype. And to top it off with a third, the British Journal of Sports Medicine concludes that the claim of alkaline or ionized water having positive health effects have a flimsy rationale and no rigorous experimental support. Okay, but what about electrolytes? Electrolytes is a word we've been hearing since the 90s when it comes to like hydration. That seems legit. And indeed, it is. Electrolytes are minerals like salt that hold on to water. And when you are sweating a lot, they do indeed help you replenish your hydration level quicker. That's why they're like the special ingredient in sports drinks like Gatorade. But the reality is that most of us aren't sweating like these guys, super sweaty, like NFL, like volleyball players who are just like sweating. Like they are sweating. Those are real athletes who are sweating all the time. They need to replenish way faster. I go on a 45-minute jog once a day or something and I sweat. I don't need a ton of electrolytes to replenish. I have the rest of the day to do it. So it turns out that electrolyte infused water doesn't confer any extra special benefits than the hydration.
What about Gatorade though? Gatorade tastes so good. You know, all that sugar.
Regular water, including the water from the tap out of my old whiskey bottle. And that is the upshot of all of this. All of this water that has been story told and packaged to us is really not that much different than this, the stuff that came out of my tap. Now, again, there's some nuance depending on where you live.
That's a cool bottle to have,
for 90% of Americans, you're not getting much else out of this other than convenience, which if that's why you're buying it, go for it. It is a psychological paradox that people are so willing to mistrust their tap water.
I might
so
have to start using a glass bottle instead of plastic. I'm not gonna lie. That shit look cool as fuck. It might be better for you health-wise, too.
To buy into the hype of water that is sold to them with a story.
Because I got this plastic, and if you leave it in the heat, that shit gets fucked up.
Let's finish this video by talking about tap water. Finally, is your tap water
so much
safe
water,
and
though?
clean? I've said a million times that yes, it is, and now I'm going to throw a little gray area nuance at you, and you will be potentially unsatisfied with the answer, as I am kind of unsatisfied with the answer, but I promise it'll all make sense. I'm going to empower you with knowledge here. In the United States, over 90% of the municipal water source, the community-based water treatment that comes out of the tap is clean, which is amazing. The stuff that comes out of the hose and the shower and goes into the toilet and the tap, it's all abundant, clean, safe drinking water. Okay, but watch what happens when I go to this website, Environmental Working Group. If you type in your zip code here, not my real zip code, you will see a bunch of data about your tap water. All of this represents the different contaminants that are in your water. It's basically impossible to have water that has zero trace contaminants. But this group, this Environmental Working Group, has come along and said, yes, this stuff is legal, but it's not ideal. We could do better. If we had a better water system, we would not have this much arsenic, 0.109 parts per billion. They want us to have 0.004. The government is okay with us having 10. And you can see that I'm like 1% of that. So I'm still well below the legal limit, but EWG says that we can do better.
There's not a black and white here. There's not a yes, you're safe, no, you're not. Figuring out how high you are above the guideline. That does matter. The higher it is.
I'm not even saying that, like, that's good. I don't even think we should have any arsenic in our water. I don't know. That just don't even sound right.
The higher the risk.
See how this is kind of an unsatisfying answer? Like, yes, the water in America is super clean in 90% of the jurisdictions, but according to EWG, there's still a way for us to go. And the point they're trying to make—
That don't even sound 0.1 parts to a billion? That just don't even sound—
happen. We'll only
We're
get
getting
to this like,
finessed.
near perfect water
Getting
if
rinsed.
all of us are bought into having a better water system. Instead, we spend thousands of times more on this stuff, this corporate storytelling about health claims and purity that are often overblown and sometimes totally misleading. So we invest our money in buying their bottles instead of demanding better tap water. So I will be walking away from this story with a deeper appreciation for the miracle of abundant, clean drinking water. I will be walking away with more skepticism towards all of these claims of alkalinity and minerality and increased performance. And I think ultimately I will be feeling a deep sense of gratitude at the fact that I even have access to clean water. There are a lot of people in this world who do not have reliable access to clean water, and that is what Team Water is all about. Me and a bunch of other creators are teaming up this month to raise awareness and money to bring clean drinking water to communities that don't have it. We're trying to raise $40 million, and luckily the biggest
$40 million. I feel like everybody should be working on not polluting the fucking government. W video, Johnny Harris. W video, brother. Hey, good fucking documentaries. You always got it on you, sir. Yes, sir. Look, chat, I had a good time.